Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today, and a big thank you to the Cruise Web for inviting me to present to all of you and to take you on a virtual cruise with Holland America Line. I've designed this presentation to be lighthearted and fun, and whether you've been on 500 cruises or none, I hope that I can paint a virtual picture for you of what your next vacation can look like. I also hope that I can help you escape for a little bit today. It's not surprising to hear that with all of the restrictions brought on by this global pandemic, working and learning from home day after day, that 95% of Americans say they are missing travel. And when asked, more than 188 million Americans say they feel a travel memory deficit, leading to greater stress and the feeling of missing out on special moments with loved ones. I can tell you with complete certainty that I absolutely am one of those people. I can tell you that my travel memories are the fondest memories I have, and I know that many of you will agree. The experiences that I've had immersing myself in destinations around the globe rank as some of my most valuable possessions. Whether it be the time that I conquered my fear of heights in Costa Rica, both ziplining and jumping off of the top of a waterfall in the same week, or whether it's the memories that I've made with people that are no longer here. I will never forget the time that I was in college and went to Italy for the first time with my parents. My dad had asked me to go get pizza, just the two of us, and though I was so tired and really wanted to take a nap, I decided to go get that pizza. It was delicious and of course worth missing the sleep, but he passed away very unexpectedly within that same year, so this memory is one that I've forever cherished and always will. I also live for the joy of introducing the next generation to the beauty of travel and culture around the world. My little Paloma, before the pandemic, traveled more than many adults that I know, and she did so gleefully. The joy on her face watching her experience new destinations is magical. We still talk about the time 2 years ago when we rented an RV after our first Alaska cruise as a family. On the very first morning that we woke up when we were camping in Denali, we opened our RV door to a friendly moose that we could have reached out and touched. It was a little bit scary, but it was breathtaking. So today, I'm determined to bring the joy of travel to you. Now, I know we physically can't go anywhere right now, but it's the perfect time to start planning where we do want to go as the world opens back up. I like to call it revenge travel, and I'm ready for it. As you saw in the previous slide, I'm the mom to 2 small children, and in particular, my 4-year-old Paloma is extremely imaginative. So I'm going to borrow a little bit of Paloma's imagination, and I ask you to do the same as we embark on this journey together. Here's what I need you to do. Go pack your suitcase, or think about packing your suitcase. You're going to want to bring plenty of casual, warm weather clothes, such as shorts, jeans, bathing suits, a good sun hat. Definitely pack your camera and some binoculars, and make sure you grab your passport. But I don't want you to worry about anything around the house because our trip today defies time. So you don't need to worry about holding mail, arranging pet care, putting lights on timers, nothing. It's time to head to Fort Lauderdale. Now, I'm based out of New Jersey, so I prefer to fly. I'm imagining a private jet here because that's what I would definitely pick, especially after this last year, and of course, without having to spend any money on that private jet. But you can imagine that you're flying on whatever your airline of choice is. If you're feeling adventurous or you're a native Floridian, you can definitely drive. Just make sure the car is fueled up and that you packed plenty of snacks for the ride there. Or if you're feeling extra imaginative, of course, you can teleport. Remember, where this trip goes today is up to your imagination. We are going on the vacation of a lifetime to experience the Panama Canal. Though travelers may disagree on which sites deserve to be considered modern wonders of the world, the Panama Canal would surely make most short lists. The shipping channel, which took 33 years to complete and cost 25,000 workers their lives, is arguably the greatest engineering project ever. The Panama Canal has been on our radar here at Holland America Line since its opening in 1914. First as a shortcut for our early cargo ships, today as the magnificent centerpiece for a luxurious cruise from sea to sea. Now we're going to touch on two different Panama Canal itineraries today. The main itinerary that we're going to explore is one of my favorites because it gives you what we are all craving right now. You get to have the adventure of a bucket list destination combined with the relaxing, playful vibes of the Caribbean. This itinerary is 11 days long, but you can do a Panama Canal SUNFARER itinerary with Holland America Line in as short as 10 days. And it's one of my favorites because of all it has to offer. You have 11 p.m. departures from both Aruba and Curacao. You have a stop in Cartagena. You get to explore Panama and the Panama Canal. And there's also a visit to Costa Rica. So you really do get to visit quite a few places on this trip. Now, aside from the obvious answer that I work for Holland America Line, why choose Holland America Line for this trip? I'm going to take you through a few quick examples, and all of these examples apply for any of our trips. Any cruise that you go on with Holland America Line, you are going to basically hit on these 4 points that I'm going to go ahead and tell you about, and you'll have the experience of these 4. So destination expertise and immersion. We have something that's exclusive to Holland America Line called Exploration Central Destination Programming. And what that does is it allows you to gain a deeper understanding of the places you visit with local cultural insights, insider travel tips, cooking demonstrations, unique shore excursions, and much more. We do not want to just be your floating hotel. We want you to be able to truly immerse yourself in your vacation. But what exactly does that mean? Well, that gets broken out into 4 different buckets. We pride ourselves on catering to the modern explorer. And when the modern explorer travels, they want to immerse themselves in the destinations they visit, and they want to make genuine connections. And that's what Holland America's Exploration Central allows travelers to do. So, as you see on the screen here, EXC guides. Your EXC guide will help you gain insights about everything from good manners to simple, useful phrases to the best tours, most popular sites, and insider tips. EXC encounters. Delve into each destination's cultures with local experts, artists, and performers on board. EXC talks. These are informative talks that help deepen your appreciation of each new destination with the kinds of tales that only locals know. And of course, our shore excursions. They're designed to enhance your travel experience when in port. They enable you to encounter fascinating cultures, places, and people in a way that's comfortable, authentic, and transformative. And they're available in pretty much every single one of the more than 470 ports around the world that we visit. The second reason that answers the question of why Holland America Line. Only Holland America Line has a dedicated culinary council of 8 world-renowned chefs, plus experts in wine and spirits, who guide our onboard dining experiences. On board, chefs serve up favorites from across Central America and the Caribbean in our exceptional dining room and specialty restaurants. On culinary shore excursions in partnership with Food and Wine magazine, you can learn to make Costa Rican specialties in a private eco reserve or taste mezcals and chocolate in Mexico. We pride ourselves on offering the best in live music. A great cruise deserves a great soundtrack. And on Holland America Line, days and nights are filled with lively, soul-stirring music by an all-star cast of musicians. There's music for every taste at venues such as Lincoln Center Stage, B.B. King's Blues Club, Billboard On Board, World Stage, and more. And lastly, Holland America Line is known for our spacious, perfectly sized ships. We're known for having sophisticated style, spacious public areas, and wraparound decks. Our perfectly sized ships always have a sunny corner that you can call your own. Each Holland America Line cruise also features gracious, friendly service from a crew whose goal is to always be available but never in the way. Their genuine warmth and personalized attention earn rave reviews that turn first-time guests into loyal mariners. So, now that you know why Holland America Line, welcome on board your much-awaited, well-deserved Holland America Line cruise. Every time I cruise, I'm always eager to check out my room as soon as I get on board. So let's quickly go take a peek at your Neptune suite. Highlighted with an expansive veranda with chase lounges and a table, the Neptune Lounge concierge is also always just a phone call away. And I can tell you there's no better feeling than relaxing in a king-size bed with your choice of pillows while at sea. This bathroom is definitely not the type of bathroom you would imagine when thinking of a cruise ship. It's gorgeous. And now let's imagine that we are enjoying a glass of champagne while sailing away. And let's stop for the moment and really enjoy it. Feel the sun on your face and the warm ocean breeze as we sail away into paradise. Since we start off our adventure with 2 sea days, I want to start by taking you through what a day as a Neptune Suite guest might look like. Good morning. Start your morning with an in-suite coffee, leisurely breakfast in the Pinnacle Grill, or a quick bite from the Neptune Lounge before working with the Neptune Lounge concierge to seamlessly plan your first shore excursion in Aruba, our first port of call. Good afternoon. Return to your suite to find your evening attire dry cleaned and pressed with complimentary laundry service. Grab a snack from the Neptune Lounge as you discuss with the concierge additional plans for your trip. Then, relax in your whirlpool bath with luxurious bath amenities. Good evening. When the evening rolls around, host pre-dinner drinks and hors d'oeuvres soundtracked by your favorite choice of music on your Bose Bluetooth speaker before departing to dine on authentic Italian cuisine at Canaletto, where you have priority reservations and seating. And good night. After dinner, the entertainment just begins as you stroll along Music Walk before retiring to your suite to relax and unwind for the evening in that king-size bed. This is just a quick snapshot that I want to show you. There is so much to do on board a Holland America Line cruise. You can see right here many of the things that we do offer in this snapshot. All right, it's our first port of call. Welcome to day 4 in Aruba. Located off the coast of Venezuela and Colombia, the windswept Dutch island of Aruba feels like another world. When you take a cruise to Aruba, you can relax in the shade of a swaying divvy tree on a pristine beach or explore untamed coastal cliffs in an exotic landscape filled with cacti. Just one day on an Aruba cruise can lead to a lifetime full of stories. I went ahead and picked out a shore excursion for us. I've had some wonderful diving experiences in Aruba, so for our shore excursion, I've chosen the Atlantis Submarine Underwater Adventure and Shipwreck Exploration. If you aren't a diver, no problem. You can still see some of the fantastic dive sites that Aruba has to offer. We'll board a submarine and embark on a thrilling dive to either the mysteriously sunken airplane or the retired Danish sailboat Morgenster, where we'll have an up-close view of exotic marine life while diving to depths of 130 feet. You'll be amazed by colorful schools of tropical fish, huge sponge gardens, and the mystic beauties of the coral fields while listening to an educational and entertaining narration by experienced, professional, and licensed crew, while also in air-conditioned comfort. Day 5. Day 5 contains a visit to one of my favorite places in the Caribbean, Curacao. This precious island has a good mixture of history and modernism, making it a truly enjoyable destination for so many. The capital of Curacao, WILLEMSTEAD, was founded in 1634, just 10 years after New Amsterdam, which we better know as New York. But while the Dutch control of New Amsterdam was relatively brief, Curacao remains a part of the Netherlands to this day. Our Curacao cruise takes you to its historic center, which is a unique mixture of Dutch architecture and Caribbean pastels. The entire historic center of Willemstad has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I still laugh looking at this slide. This is me. I'm a big fan of really quirky destinations and immersing myself in the local culture when I'm traveling, especially in a destination like Curacao. So today, we're going to learn about two of Curacao's fascinating industries with a visit to an ostrich farm and aloe plantation. At the ostrich farm, we hop aboard a safari truck and set out to explore. These massive birds are quite impressive, and you will have the opportunity to hand feed them, as you can see here in my picture. I'm trying to smile while also terrified because they do not eat gracefully. They are massive birds that are aggressively pecking away at the food that you are holding right below your face. It was an experience for sure. Nearby, you'll find the aloe vera farm, where you will learn all about the process of extracting aloe juice from the plant and discovering the amazing healing powers of this natural product. After these tours, there's still plenty of time to head back to the city to explore its beautiful downtown. You'll also be able to see actually downtown magnificent mansions that belonged to the merchants at the time when this was a trading post and a major trading center. And you can see they've been meticulously restored and are now part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's quite spectacular in my opinion. Okay, so after a day at sea, so we have a day at sea between, we've arrived at our next port of call, Cartagena. Its official name is Cartagena of the Indies, but we like to call it Cartagena for short. The formal name hints at this Colombian city's colonial relationship with Spain. It was founded in 1533 and named after the mother country's Cartagena. Colombia declared independence in 1810, but there's plenty that evokes old Spain, including the impressive fort wall that encloses the old town, one of the few intact structures of its kind in the Americas. Both were considered important enough to inscribe on the UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites in 1984. They may be historical artifacts, but the fortress and walls aren't merely tourist attractions. They are central to daily life here. If you take a stroll, you'll see couples sitting atop the wall, parents watching their children walk it like a balance beam, and friends chatting while enjoying the Caribbean breeze. Okay, now tomorrow is the day that we are going to enter the canal. So I want to tell you a little bit about that in advance. The original canal has 2 lanes, each with its own set of locks. The expansion project that took place and opened actually in June of 2016 added a 3rd lane through the construction of lock complexes at each end of the canal. So each of these new lock complexes have 3 consecutive chambers that are designed to move vessels from sea level to the level of Gatun Lake and back down again. Just like the original locks, the new locks and their basins are filled and emptied by gravity without the use of pumps. The location of the new locks uses a significant portion of the area that was actually excavated by the United States in 1939 and then suspended in 1942 because of World War II. The new locks are connected to the existing channel system through new navigational channels, and they use tugboats to position the vessels instead of electric locomotives. So it's about a week into our trip at this point. Wasn't that a fast week? And we finally made it to the Panama Canal. Now, day 8 is a busy day and there's a lot to see, so I do hope that you're rested up. If you stop and think of the Panama Canal, the image that probably comes to mind is one of the world's huge tankers and cruise ships passing through a series of locks. That, however, reflects only one aspect of the canal. As ships travel from Atlantic to the Pacific, They also pass colonial towns, historic fortresses, and man-made lakes that are today home to sanctuaries for hundreds of different animal and plant species. At the Atlantic entrance to the Panama Canal, Colón evokes the old Panama of yesteryear, with its historic buildings gradually being restored. Some 48 miles to the south, at the canal's Pacific entrance, Panama City's glittering skyline of office towers and condominiums reflects the country's dynamic present and future. Traveling between these two cities, an epic tale unfolds before you, an old school feat of engineering, ambition, and courage. It was a combination of sheer human might and engineering prowess that today allows ships to cross the Panama Isthmus, saving sailors from having to make the dangerous, almost 8,000-mile journey around the tip of South America. At the center of this project is a place where nature has been given a space to flourish, the vast Gatun Lake. The lake includes some 20 miles of the 48-mile route that ships follow through the Panama Canal. While a passenger gazing at its forest shores may assume they are looking at a landscape that predates the canal, the lake is actually a man-made creation. It was formed in 1912 with the damming of the Chagres River, and the islands that dot the lake were actually once the peaks of hills. The surface of the lake sits at an elevation of between 82 to 87 feet above sea level. At the Caribbean end, the Gatun locks raise ships traveling towards the Pacific to the level of the lake. At its other end, the locks lower them back to sea level. In addition to opportunities to see the infrastructure of the canal created at the expense of millions of dollars and thousands of lives, Gatun Lake is fascinating for its remarkable biodiversity. There are more than 100 species each of mammals and reptiles, as well as some 500 different birds that thrive in the nature reserves in and near the lake. Now, in my opinion, it doesn't get much cooler than being able to kayak in the Panama Canal itself. If you are doing one of our SUNFARER itineraries, you have the opportunity to do shore excursions, which I love. On this particular shore excursion that I chose for us, you'll have approximately 1 3/4 hours to paddle among the islands of Gatun Lake and take in all of the wildlife and biodiversity. After spending time in Gatun Lake, we do retrace our steps back to go back through the locks and exit the canal. Still on day 8, as we exit the canal, we visit the city of Colón. Colón lies on the stunning Caribbean coast of Panama, where unparalleled beaches and lush tropical scenery are everywhere. In nearby Portobello, you can discover the ruins of Spanish forts, watch colorful yachts sailing in the bay, or hunt for treasures in the local markets. You can also very easily travel to the Gatun locks for a bird's eye view of the immense ships that are passing through the canal. Day 9 is actually our last day in port on this particular adventure. Puerto Limon probably isn't the most bustling port you've ever visited, but don't be put off by its facade. Like most coastal towns in Costa Rica, it is a perfect base from which to explore an attraction and activity-rich region that can fulfill a variety of interests. You are never far from a rainforest or outdoor adventure in Costa Rica. And there are lots of day trips that allow you to pack in an adrenaline rush or a few more ticks on your birding list within just a few hours. There are treetops for ziplining and rushing rivers for whitewater rafting if you're a more active traveler, and animal lovers can take sanctuary tours in and around Puerto Limon. Of course, when it comes time to eat, there's plenty of the national favorite, gallo pinto, rice and beans. And as with many port towns, there's lots of fresh seafood. As for shopping, you can find arts and crafts that were made locally, as well as edible treats like handmade chocolate. I really recommend doing a tour of the Tortuguero canals, and this gives you the opportunity to really explore what is known as Costa Rica's Amazon because of the surrounding rainforest. There's heavy annual rainfall that fills this area with an extremely rich flora and fauna. So you'll be able to board a jungle pontoon boat that's designed specifically to cruise in comfort through these canals and be able to watch for things like orchids, water lilies, birds, monkeys, crocodiles, sloths, and toucans in this unique system of natural and man-made canals. Now, on this particular itinerary, to round out our trip, we'll have a full day at sea before arriving back in Fort Lauderdale. As I mentioned at the beginning, I love the SUNFARER itinerary because it gives you the opportunity to have the experience of the Panama Canal without the full-time commitment. But I do also want to be sure to cover our full transit Panama Canal voyages. We at Holland America Line offer more full transit Panama Canal voyages than any other premium cruise line. On these full transit itineraries, your captain will open up the bow so you can take advantage of the incredible views on your full, about 8-hour daylight transit from ocean to ocean. Plus, a canal historian will be on hand to illuminate your journey with insights on the canal's past and future. And with a selection of 14 unique itineraries that range from 14 days to a 22-day adventure, you can find the right fit for your budget, schedule, and interests. Plus, you can embark and disembark from convenient North American cities such as Vancouver, San Diego, and Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to quickly take us through one of our shorter full transit itineraries. It's a 15-day. It does depart from Fort Lauderdale, so that'll help speed things up in my presentation here. But it ends in San Diego, and you'll see we still include a stop in Cartagena. I'm going to skip ahead and show you some of the other destinations that you'll get to visit on this itinerary. Now, I want you to remember though, while you do get to fully transit the canal, there is not the opportunity for shore excursions. So I want to make sure to point that out for those of you that are more adventurous. The kayaking in the canal that we had talked about earlier isn't going to be an option on this itinerary. At the end of your journey along the Panama Canal, you'll reach Balboa, the town that sits at the Pacific entrance of the canal. So if you look here at the screenshot of the itinerary that I put, you'll see. So we depart from Fort Lauderdale, we're at sea down to Cartagena, and then from Cartagena we go to the canal. So there is no Aruba or Curacao on this itinerary. Okay, so we have made that beautiful 8-hour trek through the canal in daylight, and you've witnessed and experienced the whole thing. And we have now arrived on the Pacific coast to Puerto Caldera. And this, it's not your ordinary port of call. It's within easy day trip distance to many of the country's multiple national parks. The town itself is definitely small, but it makes for an ideal base from which travelers can venture out to explore the variety of the Central American country's outdoor attractions and activities. These include snapping photos of gushing waterfalls and swimming at the base of one if you bring your swimsuit, sightseeing near active volcanoes, bird watching in nature reserves and sanctuaries, and horseback riding on Pacific beaches, just to name a few. Visitors to Puerto Caldera and the surrounding region also enjoy shopping for handicrafts that local artists sell at their cooperatives, as well as sampling traditional Tico cuisine. This destination is truly the perfect reminder that adventure often awaits just around the bend. Now, today we're going to visit a sloth sanctuary, a botanic garden, and an ox cart factory. At the sloth sanctuary, you can look up to view sloths above you with no barriers. You will see toucans, hawks, monkeys, anteaters, parrots, and the foundation works tirelessly to restore the patients to good health so they can later be re-released back into the wild. At the conclusion of this unforgettable morning, you'll reboard your coach and enjoy a delightful panoramic drive all the way to the outskirts of San Jose. La Garita is a magnificent botanic garden, a colorful outdoor oasis featuring a greenhouse, ponds, plant nurseries, and a bird area where you will view the endangered scarlet macaw, blue and gold macaws, and cockatoos. A botanist will talk you through some of the amazing species of orchids and other exotic flowers found here. Finally, you'll visit the craft center of Costa Rica, known for its colorful and decorative ox carts. These have been made here for more than a century. You can enjoy a traditional Costa Rican lunch followed by a tour of the factory where you can observe skilled artisans as they produce handmade ox carts with intricately painted sides and wheels. Puerto Quetzal is Guatemala's largest port on the Pacific Ocean side, important for both cargo and cruise ships. There's not a great deal to see in Puerto Quetzal itself. However, it's an ideal point of departure for exploring several corners of the country. Choose your mode of transportation, plane, bus, car, boat, and decide whether you want to take in Guatemala's stunning volcano-studded landscape, one or more of the country's Maya sites, the UNESCO-recognized colonial city of Antigua, a coffee plantation, or one of the many bodies of water. All of these attractions are easily accessible as day trips, and getting to them is all part of your Guatemalan adventure. Man, we are already at day 10. On day 10, we are visiting the southernmost port on Mexico's Pacific coast, Puerto Chiapas, and it's named for the state in which it is located. It's a relatively new port. It was built in 1975 and is the primary hub from which the region's agricultural goods, including coffee, are sent abroad. For travelers arriving by cruise ship, the town is a jumping off point to explore many surrounding areas such as the coffee estates and banana and cacao plantations of the area. Day trips also include excursions to Maya sites such as Izapa. Although not as well known as some of the Maya sites of southern and eastern Mexico, such as Chichen Itza, Izapa is impressive nonetheless. In addition to its interesting location, it sits along a river and is aligned with a volcano, which is the 6th tallest mountain in Mexico. While in the area, don't miss the opportunity to sample the cuisine of Chiapas, which is influenced heavily by the Mayas. Okay. HUATULCO has 9 bays and 36 beaches, offering more than enough opportunities for fun in the sun. But the attractions aren't limited to sand and surf. There are also archaeological sites to explore, rivers to raft, and waterfalls whose pools invite childlike splashing. Bird lovers in particular will find this area to be especially captivating. The region is home to more than 225 bird species, including many rare ones and a number that are endemic to Mexico. So bring your bird list because you're sure to add new species to your cited column. Day 13, we are visiting Puerto Vallarta, PV to locals, a city that still retains quite a bit of its colonial era charm. There is so much to do here. There are plenty of fun in the sun outdoor activities on and along Banderas Bay, such as whale watching, snorkeling, jet skiing. There are excursions that reveal the best of Puerto Vallarta's flora and fauna, and a side trip to one of Mexico's pueblos mágicos, magical towns, a designation conferred by the government to recognize smaller towns that possess historical and cultural value. So you really would be hard-pressed to find a more pleasant place to spend part of your trip. Sadly, my friends, it's time for our last port of call on our virtual cruise. Now remember, we do go all the way up to San Diego, which is where you disembark, but this would be the last port of call where we have that full day while on the ship. Now, Los Cabos doesn't exude the same kind of charm as many other areas of inland Mexico do, but its twin towns, San Jose del Cabo and Cabo San Lucas, don't seem to mind, and neither do visitors who take a cruise to Cabo, who are more or less drawn here, less for traditional Mexican culture, but more so for the opportunity to just slow down and relax. Los Cabos, or the Capes, sits at the southernmost tip of the Baja California Peninsula, a narrow strip of land whose varied geography, both above and underwater, makes for plenty of interesting activities and some unusual ones too. Did you ever think you'd ride a camel in Mexico? You can do that here. You can also enjoy more predictable pursuits, including fishing, golfing, whale watching, scuba diving, Or if you want something that's a bit more laid back, on their trip to Cabo, you can visit Picture Perfect El Arco, an arch that may look familiar thanks to its cameo on postcards and many tourism advertisements. North of the Capes, you can drop by the famed Hotel California, and if you've worked up an appetite on your cruise, don't be disappointed. Los Cabos offers plenty to enjoy at the table as well, with farm fresh fruits and vegetables, and of course, seafood. Regardless, Holland America Line makes sure that our Cabo cruises have plenty of new and traditional things for our guests to be able to enjoy and experience. Now I'm going to pause for a moment here because we're going to switch gears a little bit. I want to make sure that during our time together today, we cover health protocols. At Holland America Line, one of our highest priorities is the health, safety, and well-being of our guests, our crew, and the communities we visit. Now, historically, our sanitation protocols have always been at the forefront of the cruise industry with comprehensive cleaning of public areas and staterooms. Hand sanitizer has always been readily available, and staff have encouraged its use. However, given the current environment, we will elevate these existing sanitation practices to even greater levels, providing our guests with extra confidence and peace of mind when sailing with us. When society is ready and cruising resumes, we are committed to sailing with strengthened health measures developed in conjunction with government health authorities, public health experts, local ports, and CLIA. We also are working closely with the top minds in medical science and infectious disease control to understand the unique challenges posed by this virus and how best to apply the latest science and protocols throughout the entire guest experience, from transfers and check-in to shipboard operations and shore excursions. Now, with the current global health environment still evolving, our operational protocols will be flexible and may be modified to be able to quickly adapt as guidance evolves with greater scientific understanding. And you can always visit hollandamerica.com to be able to access the most up-to-date information and plans in regards to this. Now, I'm going to go through a few quick offers for you. I call them offers that bring people together because as we started this presentation, we all want to be together with those people that we love, making those memories. So at Holland America Line, we make it easy for you to be able to spend that quality time together making those memories. With our awesome itineraries, the experiences to explore destinations, our culinary options, and dancing the night away with your friends, you will easily find the perfect vacation, whether it be 2021 or 2022. So here's a quick rundown of some of the fabulous values that beg for people to reconnect on a Holland America Line vacation. And of course, your contact at the Cruise Web is more than versed on these offers as well. This is just to give you a quick snapshot. We know that safety and health is first and foremost right now, and we completely understand that when you're talking about taking the people you love most in the world somewhere, you want to ensure their safety, right? So with our Book with Confidence policy, you can secure these incredible value promotions and still have the flexibility to change your plans. We know that policies, restrictions, and access changes almost daily, and flexibility is key in planning your vacation escape. If you can't stand to spend another minute apart from those that you love, or if you can't stand being in your house, the ultimate upgrade event is your ticket. You can secure a veranda stateroom at the Ocean View rates, or an Ocean View stateroom at the inside rates. And because this is the year to reconnect, kids can enjoy reduced fares or sail free. And you'll see here, you also, if you book by February 2nd, right now we have a free Wi-Fi package that's included. There's a signature beverage package. We offer free one night of specialty dining, 10% off all shore excursions. So we really want to give you the opportunity to be able to reconnect. Plus, a special bonus that the Cruise Web has to offer right now is if you do book, you can receive an exclusive onboard value offers. This includes savings on relaxing services from the greenhouse spa and salon, specialty dining, wine packages, and more. And it's something that you'll receive when you get on board. If you're thinking about planning a bigger bash in 2022, Save Now, Cruise Later has the value that you are looking for. You can book select 2022 Holland America Line cruises or land and sea journeys through the end of February and receive offers valued at up to $1,300 per stateroom. It includes drinks, gratuities, a signature dining package, Wi-Fi if you're in a suite, and a 50% reduced deposit. I want to thank you so much for giving myself as well as the CruiseWeb the gift of your time and your presence today. And of course, I want to thank my partners at the CruiseWeb for organizing this presentation. I hope you enjoyed this time out and temporary escape from reality. Please take care of yourselves and your families. And I'm going to go ahead and answer a few quick questions that have come through before wrapping up our time together. Okay, here we go. Question 1, do I need to have a passport if I am doing the round trip Fort Lauderdale SUNFARER itineraries? That is a great question. I personally always prefer to travel with a passport when my feet are going to be touching any ground that is not part of the United States. This is my preference as a traveler, whether a passport is required or not. If I'm leaving the US, I want to have it. However, you technically do not need to have a passport to do a SUNFARER itinerary. For the full transit, you will have to have a passport, but if you are doing the SUNFARER itinerary, it's not required. However, I would highly recommend it. Okay, question number 2. I'd like to take this trip, but I think 2022 could be a better option for me. How far out is your deployment currently? That's another great question. We currently have Panama Canal itineraries open through the spring of 2022. So the itineraries we went through today, you still would have the opportunity to book one of these trips today and not travel until the spring of 2022. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. There's one more question here before we wrap up. I would love to take a trip with my children and grandchildren. Can you tell me if Holland America Line would be the right fit for us? Absolutely. So from onboard programs for kids and teens to world-class dining and entertainment that everybody can enjoy, every single person in your family has the freedom to pursue their passions their way on a Holland America Line cruise. Younger travelers can join kids their own age on a treasure hunt while their parents get a crash course at an Exploration Central presentation. And then later, the entire family can regroup, share their day's highlights, and have some freshly made pasta at Canaletto. We do also offer family-friendly shore excursions as well as family-friendly accommodations. And it looks like that is it for the questions. If you have any other further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to your contact at the CruiseWeb. I know that they would be more than willing to help you get those questions answered. Again, this is Morgan Katuna from Holland America Line, and I want to thank you so very much for taking the time to join us today. Take care, everybody.